Hello everyone, I hope that you are all having a great week. So I'm finally uploading for the first time and I think it's close to 2 months now, which is crazy. I hate not uploading very often and I also hate making excuses, but the past couple months have been kind of just weird. So right after Inktober week, I ended up getting a pretty bad flu. And it really kicked my butt. Like, I was out. And so, of course, I was sick, so I didn't really have any sort of energy to be painting anything. However, once I started to feel better, I noticed that I haven't been using my gouache very recently. It's always been a medium that I've wanted to really learn how to use because it's so nice. It's a mixture between acrylic and watercolor. You can make it look like oil. It's just a really beautiful medium. But I've had no formal training whatsoever when it comes to painting. So I decided to sign up with classes with Gouache Atelier. Now, I've taken classes with them once before. I think it was probably a couple years ago, and I loved it. The classes that I took were the head drawing classes. This was back when I was really trying to focus on drawing without a grid, and they helped me out so much. They were incredibly valuable to me. So I did know that Jeff Watts taught a very instructional video about gouache painting. However, I didn't really realize how instructional they were and how informative they were and how many there were. Like, I just thought it would be a couple, but there were a ton of classes. So I've watched most of the videos because I'm unfortunately, I live in New York and Gouache Atelier is in California. So I was fortunate enough to watch the videos online. It is a very nice program. So if painting is something that you are struggling with, or even drawing is something you're struggling with, and you want like a more classical approach to both of these like techniques, then I would definitely suggest checking out Gouache Atelier. If you want a better idea of how they teach and their approach to it, check out their YouTube channel. It's very similar. They definitely aren't like explaining their method or anything like that on the YouTube channel. However, they definitely obviously go much more in depth online for their classes, but just to get you an idea, definitely check out their channels. It's worth it. I think that the price that I paid was definitely worth it for the classes that I took. I definitely feel like the classes have changed my point of view to painting and also my approach. It's really been a game changer, and I've really fallen in love with gouache painting, especially portrait painting, just because it was something that I was always nervous with, especially with gouache, because the lights tend to dry darker, the darks tend to dry lighter, everything reactivates, and it's just a mess. So it's been fun and a challenge, and it's something that I've kind of been missing recently. One thing I've always enjoyed is learning new mediums and learning new techniques and approaches, and I've just kind of felt like I've been in a rut for like the past year. I just feel like my artwork has been kind of low, and this was definitely the push that I needed. So as I mentioned before, I am using gouache paints. I'm using M. Graham gouache, just a black and a white, and I've found that using black and white right now, because I'm so new to this technique, is really helpful. I don't have to worry about colors. I don't have to worry about value or that's the only thing I have to worry about is value. I don't have to worry about color, tones, or anything like that. All I have to worry about is it dark or is it light? And that kind of takes a lot of the stress out of the way. You're not really stressing over colors or anything like that. So I am excited to start color soon. I'm working in a Strathmore 500 series mixed media sketchbook. This was one that I originally purchased for my camping trip this past summer. However, the weather for this camping trip was pretty crappy. It was pretty terrible. So most of the time I spent like playing cards and reading, or just hanging out with my friends, so it wasn't a good time to paint. I did get a couple of drawings in, but it was nearly impossible to sit outside and paint with watercolors while it was raining most of the time, so that was a bummer. But I didn't want to either leave this sketchbook for later for next year, or I could use it now. So I definitely decided to use it now, and I really like the way it's been going recently. With the classes with the Watts Atelier, they recommend that you paint on hardboard or like a illustration panel. And while I think that that's really a good way to go, I just don't have the space to be storing those paintings. Like, these are just my practice pieces. These are the pieces that are kind of gonna give me the fundamentals and for me to learn this medium. So I don't really have a huge studio or anything like that to be storing all of these illustration boards, but I do have enough space to store a couple of sketchbooks. So I've decided to go ahead and use up the rest of the sketchbook. I'm about halfway through at this painting here, and once I finish the sketchbook, when I start a new one, I think is going to be when I start incorporating some color into these pieces. I've made it my goal to finish this sketchbook and to fill it with black and white pieces, mostly just for myself, because I really would like to be comfortable with black and white and then continue on to a very limited palette, just because gouache is kind of a tricky medium. It's something that I catch myself, I'm probably 6 or 7 paintings in, and I catch myself and I get kind of nervous sometimes, or I still make really stupid mistakes, so I really need to practice some more. So I have probably a good 16 or so pages left in this book, so definitely some more paintings to be done, and I'm very excited. I'm kind of using it as motivation to finish this book so that the next sketchbook I start, I can go ahead and start incorporating some color. So another reason why I wasn't able to upload it all the past couple months was because my camera actually died. So I have definitely been painting. As I said before, I've been taking classes with Watts Atelier, and I've gotten around 6 or 7 paintings done by now. And I definitely tried to record them, but my camera is just not cooperating. So, I'm not really sad about it, let's be honest. I've had so much trouble with this camera over the past couple years, and it's been nothing but a headache from day one. So I'm glad to have gotten a new camera, just because it's so much simpler. And the quality of this video is so much better than my other ones. You are kind of at a weird angle just because I don't really have a great setup right now. I'm kind of in the middle of rearranging my studio, but even at a weird angle, you still get a much better picture compared to my old video camera. It wasn't even a video camera, it was a webcam that did record in HD, but it just wasn't that spectacular. It would have been fine for a palette camera, or something like that, or I don't know, but this one's way better. I actually purchased it on Black Friday, and it was a really, really sweet deal. It was a camera that I had been looking at for a couple weeks before, and I decided to hold out just in case it did go on sale, and thankfully it did. It's a Canon Vixia, I think it's RF 800. It's just a camcorder, but it's so nice, and I'm able to see what I'm recording. The only thing that's kind of a bummer that I'm not used to is because before I was using a webcam, so everything was recorded straight onto my computer. I never had to worry about a camera life or battery or anything like that. And now I have to worry about an SD card filling up, which again, it is not the end of the world. I'm able to record for like a good 2 hours, which is plenty of time for like one session. And I mean, this is the first piece I've done with this new camera, so I think I can record and charge the battery at the same time. I'm not 100% sure, but I think so. So that's kind of nice too. I think I'm just gonna have to stock up on some memory cards. But that's it. I mean, like, this camera is so nice. I just have to figure out a little bit better situation to get you guys a better angle, but for now, the side angle is about the best that we're gonna get. I've actually been looking into getting a second desk. I have an absolutely gorgeous drawing table. Like, it's beautiful. It was handmade by my uncle. It was a gift for my graduation, and I mean, I'm not even kidding you. It's a beautiful desk. But now that I'm painting, I'm kind of nervous to get paint on it, so I kind of want to get it like a really cheap table. I have like a folding tabletop. It's almost like a drafting table, like, if you can imagine that, but just the top of it. And if I could just get like a cheap desk to put underneath it, that'd be perfect, because I do want to make it a goal to start oil painting, and naturally with oil paint comes paint thinner, and I don't want to risk getting any oil paint or paint thinner on my really beautiful desk. So I think I would just keep it for like oil painting stuff, just like a really cheap, nothing special, nothing precious desk, just for oil painting. And of course I would keep my other desk for everything else, because it is so gorgeous. I love using it. I use it like every day, and I've had it for like probably going on seven years now, and it is very well loved. It's really cool. It's actually got like secret compartments, and it's just really one of a kind. A lot of thought was put into it, and it's just really beautiful. If I'm ever able to clean this place up and make it look a little bit more presentable, and once I get my second setup going on, I will definitely give you guys a tour of what my painting area looks like. But for now, it's an absolute disaster. Like, I'm in the middle of switching things around and trying to get things kind of where I want them to be, but it's bad. Like, it's really bad. So until then, I don't want you guys to see what it looks like now, because it's not really how it looks like on a daily basis. Usually I am a very messy person, but this is like next level messy. So yeah, there's definitely some work that needs to be done. Also, once I finish this sketchbook, if you guys would like to see a sketchbook tour, then let me know. I personally absolutely love watching sketchbook tours, so if you guys would like to see this one, then definitely let me know and I will make it for you guys. I've only ever made one sketchbook tour, I think, maybe two. But I think they're just really a ton of fun to watch, and yeah, I think it would be fun to make one for this sketchbook, especially because it starts out as like camping illustrations and then ends with like gouache paintings, like portrait paintings. So it's definitely quite the transition. So since you guys did get kind of an odd angle for this video, I decided to add in a photo at the end, so you guys could kind of get a better idea of what it looked like. And overall, I am pretty happy with this piece. There are definitely some of the pieces in the sketchbook that I've done with gouache that I'm not a huge fan of, but this is definitely one of the okay ones. Anyways, I hope that you enjoyed this video, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.